Between Wednesdays, just trying to get by to the next fix. Living between Wednesdays, prefer the comics over the Netflix. Living between.
What's up, folks? I'm your host Konrad on Wednesday Night Reviews, and today I'm joined by Chris Waigand, the creator of Tights, and they're going to tell us about their Kickstarter for their second issue. So Chris, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me, man. I had a blast last time, so thank you.
Absolutely. Well, let's do it again. So yeah, just like last time, assuming that not everyone in the world watched my last video, who is Chris Waigand?
They were so excited about Tights that the whole world didn't watch. What's that?
Who is Chris Waigand? Who are you for the people out there?
Who am I? So originally from the Detroit area, moved out to San Francisco almost 10 years ago. And that was for a job in advertising. I was a copywriter for about 15 years, and now I'm more of a creative consultant, I guess, in gaming, working for a big old social media company out here in San Francisco. And let's see. Also happily married with a now almost 2.5-year-old, and that has changed the life quite drastically. Even from the last time we talked, now that she's like a human being, it takes a different amount of effort, and you have to constantly be on. And yeah, you don't know how exhausting that can be until it actually happens to you. But it's fun, and it definitely makes worth exciting.
Good. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying fatherhood. Obviously, we're here to talk about your second issue of your Kickstarter, which already it's been out for what, 4 or 5 days now?
4 days, 4.5 days, yeah.
Yeah, 4.5 days. You're at least at this point 95% funded. The last update I saw, you posted on social media. So tell us about your comic. What is Tights?
Tights. Well, Tights takes place in a world very much like our own. But the major difference is a second major pandemic had happened. So imagine, what we were dealing with when COVID hit, right? So you can imagine if that happened in our world, right? Like the global economies are crippled, unemployment and crime rates are now soaring, and this has now been the catalyst and cause of just normal everyday people who maybe have been watching too many Marvel movies and TV shows and reading maybe too many comic books, thinking that they can help by being superheroes themselves. And very much like a la Kick-Ass, right? In the reality that nobody really has any, well, no one has superpowers, let alone most don't have any like super skills. Their heart's in the right place, but their brain probably isn't, and that often leads to very bad things happening instead of what we're used to seeing the heroes marching the criminals in and tipping the little cap and going on their way. Usually they get caught, right? Like they get arrested. And that's where our protagonist enters. And our protagonist of the story is Judge Oliver Andrews. And, in his courtroom, he sees this collateral damage that they create, right? He sees the families of those who have been hurt or worse from these superheroes trying to do the right thing. And they also are clogging his docket and just making his working life absolute hell. So he hates them. And basically he's basically known for throwing the book at these Tights kind of any chance he gets. And so he's almost an antagonist here in the beginning of the story. But one fateful night, and this is at the end of issue 1, his personal world collides with Tights, and that a triad hit squad is sent to kill Oliver. Actually, he just picked up some food for dinner, and he's walking down an alleyway, and a car rolls up, and they're literally about to pull the trigger, and a team of Tights save his ass. And unlike some of the other Tights that we see in issue 1, who are just definitely not on the level, this team called the Shadow Pack, they're badasses, right? You can tell that they're funded, they have skills, they're coordinated, they're kind of, a step down from Batman, I think, a team, kind of like a little mini SWAT team of people with skills. And So the coast is clear. Oliver's life is saved, but maybe something even more terrifying to Oliver happens at the end because they say, Judge Oliver Andrews, we need your help. And so now Oliver is in debt to Tights, and something that he obviously doesn't want to be part of, but he is then forced to play ball because in the beginning of issue 2, Oliver does something very horrible on accident, but this is going to give these Tights, the Shadow Pack, even more leverage against him because they're going to witness it. They're going to help clean it up, and basically they're going to tell him, "Listen, you're going to help us." I mean, they're going to do it's to do the right thing, but Oliver's going to have to break the law in order to help them. And so that's why he's like, no. And they're like, well, we saw what you did, and we're the only thing standing between the people who sent that hit squad and you and your wife, because the cops are corrupt. The bad guys have people on the inside, and basically, the Shadow Pack are like, we're the only ones who can keep you safe, and we're trying to do the right thing, and we know what you did, so you're going to help us. And so that's a long-winded way of getting to where kind of we are in the middle of issue 2. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what? I love it, and what I really enjoyed about reading issue 2 was your sense of humor just kept right on through the first issue into the second issue. There's a very early joke. I guess there's two that I really enjoyed regarding the Shadow Pack. So one, there's a comparison made to them being basically Ninja Turtles, which I thought was hilarious.
You got to call it out, right?
Oh
it's
yeah,
just like, it's like very cool look, you got going on, very kind of Snake Eyes Ninja Turtle thing.
Yeah. The other thing I enjoyed, and it kind of speaks to their reasoning for being able to pull the judge into doing what they need. Basically, the question was brought up of, how do you guys do what you do? And because the judge gets to witness some gunfire where these people save his life, and later on we learn it's just basically beanbag bullets out of a shotgun, and I'm just like, oh, that's actually really quite smart. It keeps them from killing people.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? I love it. And just the way that you have these characters talk to each other, the Shadow Pack, as well as to the judge, very fun.
Good. So, I'm glad.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm
so
glad.
I think people will enjoy it, as well as kind of I guess it would be like deadpan delivery of certain things, like that nasty event that happens that makes them be able to force him to help them. Yeah. So folks, automatically you can stop the interview now. Click the link down below. You'll enjoy the book. When it came to creating issue 2, what was different from it, or what was different about that process than creating the first issue for you?
Sure. I am so lucky to have this team in place who actually makes the book beautiful. I'm putting the words on there, but I mean, they're doing the super heavy load of like creating the thing. Edison Neo is the artist, and he does everything. I mean, he does it all. I mean, for this book, he's doing, the sketching, the pencils, the inks. Before he was doing even color, but he's becoming a very busy man because he's very, very talented. And now the world knows it. And so he's like, listen, dude, I just can't color this thing. So we found Maya, and she's incredible. And so Edison, what's different in the process is that, Edison does his thing, and then Maya does her thing, and then Reed Hinckley Barnes is still doing the design of the book, and he's also an incredible letterer, first and foremost, the letterer. And so still kind of the same process of, Edison gets me the art up to the inks, everything's okay, we send it to Maya adds the color, and then I've been trying to kind of get everything finalized in little batches. So just to get it as further along as I possibly can, as quickly as possible, because I want to get it out there to some reviewers. And also, I just wanted to have this thing completely done by the time this Kickstarter ends, and it's done. So all we need to do is add the thank you section at the end, and that'll be good for backers because you're going to get your digital if you just got digital or you're into reading digital. That thing will be fired off basically as soon as it's over, and then the print will be ordering it literally as soon as we're done. I just got to fill in the thank yous, and that'll be that. But so process very much the same, and I'm very lucky in that Edison and I think we just worked very well together. And that took a little bit of feeling out in the beginning, right? Because this is the first time I've ever been serious and made an actual, full-on comic book. And it was the first time of Edison, I think, working with a writer on a full, a full issue of a comic that wasn't his, right? Because he's a writer too. And so it was like, well, how much is too much, in the descriptions, when I'm writing the script. And we got to this really nice area of more of a more of a DC style, between the Marvel being like, this is what's happening, just you figure it out. And in a DC, it's like, no, in this panel, we see Oliver, he's, on the left-hand side of the panel. And so I think it's more leaning into the DC of like, Edison's like, dude, just tell me what you see in your brain, and put it all down, like, in SWAT, like I have links to stuff, just so if I have something, particularly in mind, I just put it all on the damn page. And so that's really helped us just get into step and to be able to work pretty quickly.
That's amazing. It sounds like you guys, the both of you, have really, well, like you said, felt out your partnership, how you want information, or rather, I guess, how Edison wants information, but as well as what you want to show. That's fantastic, especially that you guys have been able to come together so quickly, because our last interview was not all that long ago. And now you've got a second issue of a comic done. I do believe I've asked last time. I always like to double check because, as the process actually happens and the books get made, often the plan changes. Issue 2's done, basically, like you said. What's the plan for 3, 4, 5, and however many more?
Well, it's hopefully with 2 issues, even on the Kickstarter, I'm like, I put in the story area, it's like, Kickstarter again? Like, what's the long game? Like, because if I'm reading that too, I'm like, is this what we're going to be doing every time? And that's fine, because I've seen many awesome books. Like, no, it's just we're going to do a Kickstarter every single time. And I mean, I'm not saying that that's not what we're going to do. I mean, that could be the plan, from here on out. But the hope is that by having 2 issues, it will prove to, fingers crossed, would be, maybe publishing partners that it's just not kind of like a one-hit wonder, or like it took, it could have taken me 10 years to write one issue. Nobody would know that. But it's like, oh yeah, I can see where this is going. And then it's like, well, where is it going? Hopefully issue 2 is like, okay, it has a story, it has, character development, it's there's a couple different plots going on, like hopefully it proves that it has legs, and that, again, that we can get some help to kind of offload, just everything else, man. Like, I just want to write this thing. Like, I hate that it took this long between the first Kickstarter and this Kickstarter to put out a book. But, the social media aspect of it, just the Kickstarter, just building a damn page of it and coming up with the logistics of like, what are we offering as extras and sticker pack? Like, what are we going to do? Like, what's something fun, and having to build those things, and it just takes so much time. And so my hope is to maybe partner with somebody in the space, the indie comic space. I've actually had a couple of really great conversations. So again, fingers crossed that I think we might be able to share some kind of fun news relatively soon with a partner. But even if all falls through, by the end of this, just having in hand 2 issues that, man, I'm going to the cons. Okay, I've been waiting for 2 issues. And so
yes,
the plan is, hopefully I'll see you there and see all these awesome people that I've met. That's what really gets me so excited. Is like, I see them at all these cons, and I'm like, it's gonna be so cool to meet these people in real life and be a part of the experience, because I've never done that before. So plan is get 2 issues, get it out into the same comic shops that I'm in now around San Francisco and some in LA, hopefully more. Get maybe a partner to help unload some of the pre-marketing of this stuff, and broaden kind of the net of where we're getting the exposure. And if we can get a publishing partner to print many more copies of these and get them into stores, outside of my West Coast kind of hub here, that's the dream. And then to finish this damn first story arc. It's plotted out to 8 issues, which I know is a lot for a first comic, but I might be able to get to 6. But there's so many things. Again, there's so many characters, and there's so many things that I want to really events I want to do justice. And I think 8, it's all wrapped up with a bow, and I just want to have the time and ability to sit and just finish the effing thing. That's the dream.
Well, then you know what? 8 it is. I appreciate, like you said, you've leaned into the DC style of the way in which to actually write the comic so that the artist can take it and go, okay, cool, this is what Chris is seeing, and start making it. I also appreciate a lot of floppies, or a lot of trades, bulk of those down there, from DC and Marvel are usually 6 issues.
Yep.
Go with 8. If you know already the story's pretty bow 8, just make it happen. Make it a big issue or a big trade when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've talked about this awesome book. You've had a hell of an experience making it. Let's talk about how people can get it. So you've got a Kickstarter going on. I've got it loaded up here. You are 96%.
All right.
Congratulations. 4 to go. Your last Kickstarter, you had some really cool rewards that I'd never seen before, such as a skateboard with tights on it.
That was cool.
For this Kickstarter, what can people expect? How can they get the book? What will it look like? Give me all the details.
Yeah, man. So we got a little bit of something for everybody. We got digital packages where you can catch up. You can get the first one and the second one for $8, which is it's probably less than a beer out here in San Francisco.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. We have print packages, with the original issue. We have some the first prints left, and we also have book plates. So Edison signed it, I signed it, Reed signed it. So we have signed copies of the first issue, unsigned copies of the first issue, all first printing, along with, of course, the second issue, where we have 2 different covers. And I love them both. One is done by Edison Neo, which is great, and another one is done by a guest artist, Kyle Petchak. Okay, there it is. Every time I try to like a damn name, I'm so sorry, Kyle. He's incredible, and he is so talented in profession. The dude is so fast and good, and he's a great social presence too. I would definitely check him out. Kyle, spelling his last name Petchock. Check him out. His Instagram is awesome. He shows the process, and he's just such a positive influence. So it's great just to bring him on. So we have 2 awesome covers, and then the extra stuff to make it a little bit more fun in our Kickstarter exclusive bundles that we have. This time around, we had an exclusive poster last time by an artist friend of mine, and now we have one here too. And it's done by Samuel Owunzi, and he's an incredible artist. And he's done, if you've ever out there have read or heard about Magic Powder, which is a phenomenal book, I highly suggest you check that out. Samuel is doing the covers for that comic, and when I saw that, I was like, dude, I gotta work with this guy. And so he was amazing to work with, and we made this really cool poster. It's actually it's modeled after an old James Bond poster, and it's just got this really cool style to it. And it's actually, the way it looks is like, it almost looks like it's been folded up, and it's older, and it's a movie poster for Tights issue 2. And so that's cool. So that's going to be a completely Kickstarter exclusive. The Samuel guy, again, I just think he's going to absolutely blow up. So it's going to be cool just to own an original piece of art by him. And then we got another sticker pack which is fun. We
Nice.
got the whole shadow pack on there and art that was made just specifically for that. So that's kind of fun. And then we got a couple other characters on there. Veronica, who's the badass new character that we meet. And then this guy named Little Tiger, and he's just jackass that we also meet. And literally, he's caught with his pants down. He's one of the stickers, and I just thought like this could be fun. This could be a fun sticker to place in many weird places out in the real world. So we got that. We got another bookmark just because I like getting them because I use them all the damn time. And this time it's
Oh yeah.
laminated. Last time I didn't get it laminated,
Ooh.
and it just the things disintegrate after a while. And then last in that same pack we have a keychain. And actually, it's so funny you're wearing your shirt. You're approved by the.
Yeah.
This one is the unapproved by the Comics Code Authority keychain, and there's that blood spatter like you see on the Tights logo. And so it's just kind of like a fun. I just made it up. I actually made a shirt of it, and I'm like, you know what, this can make kind of like a cool keychain, and so that'll be part of it too. So I don't know if by the time this is live, there'll be any early pledge Kickstarter exclusive bundles, but it's $10 cheaper, so you get all that for $25. And you get both copies of the comic and the digital. So that's a pretty good deal. It's usually $35, but I think there's a couple left. So jump on that because once those first 25 of the early pledge one are gone, they're gone. And then the most exciting stuff that we have all the original art done by Edison on ink, on paper, 11 by 17, up for sale, which is so cool. And we did not have this before because Edison did it all digital for issue one, but he wanted to do this on ink, which was such a cool move by him. And so
Yeah.
we have like the ultra special, and I was so hesitant to put this on the Kickstarter because I selfishly want the cover, but it's there. We have a cover art bundle. It's the high price item, but this dude, his cover is so awesome and it looks so great at 11 by 17. And so you can get that if you want it. And then we also again have every single one of the pages. So we have 24 story pages. It's a 28-page book technically, but 24 pages, and we have 3 tiers of pricing. So, the tier 1 stuff is more of the action-packed, crazy moments. And then we have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and we've actually sold a couple, and so they're starting to go pretty quickly. So um,
Awesome.
lots of really fun stuff, and we're just getting started. So as soon as we hit our goal, I already have. It's not really a stretch goal; it's just kind of like a celebration of, hey, we did it. We got some digital stuff for everyone who gets one of these bundles. They're going to get anything digital that I add, anything printed that I add, any stickers that add. So if you get one of these bundles, you'll get all the stuff, the stretch goals for free that I
Oh,
can mail
cool.
in the same box. If I add like
Yeah.
action figures, you don't get those for free. But yeah, we'll be adding a bunch of other stretch goals hopefully, like we did. We auctioned off the first time, the first Kickstarter. We auctioned off 2 tight skateboards to anyone who pledged. So hopefully we can kick
Yeah.
ass and get. I don't think we're probably going to get as many pledges as we did the first time, but if we get up there, if we surprise ourselves, I guess I would love to offer something in a giveaway. So if you got a digital copy all the way up to you bought prints, everyone's going to have a chance to win, hopefully, something free and big and fun. And obviously, the more you pledge, the more virtual tickets you get as an incentive. But everyone has a shot.
I love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's me being selfish just because I like little knickknacks. The keychain from that Kickstarter exclusive bundle is fabulous.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. I'm glad you
And
like it.
oh yeah, that's so cool. I love that you've got the pages up, the cover as well. I also appreciate not wanting to get rid of it because that is so cool. Um, I also wanted to ask, because this one I thought was interesting. You have on here for $100. It is a How to Kickstart Your Comic bundle. Um, I, from what I understand and what I saw on social media, you were offering this bundle. It sold out, and then you put more up there. So I'm looking at it right now, and
Yep,
it's got 0 backers, 5 of 5. So you've put 5 more up there.
I
Um,
did.
what is it?
So what it is so again, my background being I've been doing, geez, close to like almost 20 years. Oh my God. That's gonna date
You're
me.
still young. You're
Yeah,
still very
thank
young.
you. Thank you very much. Makes me feel good. So I've been doing this. This has been my day job, right? Is marketing. And for the last 5 years working at the biggest social media company on planet Earth. My job is to teach the biggest gaming companies in the world how to do it. And so that's my day job. Though that's what I went to school for. That's my profession. And so what this is not only like, okay, it's a one-on-one, so you get all the cool stuff that we just talked about, the keychains and all that stuff, but you also get all the issue 1 and 2 scripts, art, all of our Kickstarter, uh, uh, Jesus, phone numbers of companies who can make every knickknack that I think you could possibly imagine. I mean, I haven't made everything you could possibly imagine, but I have at least reached out to about just about any company you could probably imagine. So all of those contacts, and then again, the social media kind of like class where we'll do this, right? We'll jump on a Zoom for pretty much as long as it takes. I'll answer any questions of how we kind of brought, a comic from nothing to issue 1 to an issue 2, and hopefully 2 successful Kickstarters, without ever having done it before, right? And I think,
Mm.
again, just knowing social media, and I just know better than most, I guess, how to build a social presence, when to start that. I have a template that I use to make posts. So, you know, something looks brand new, but I don't have to start it from scratch every single time. And it's actually in Keynote of all things, but I can use the transitions to make videos that'll catch your eye. And so giving them that template, hopefully that they can use to make their own posts as their campaigns evolve. And then of course, I found it invaluable when I was, writing my first comic, like just, you know, what word template do I use? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
all of that, every tool that we have that we've used, we're going to give to you to help you kickstart your first comic. Or, maybe you've done it before and you're just like, listen, I just want to build my page and my social presence, that we could focus on that too. So just basically, taking the time to talk and trying to give individuals the best possible shot at success.
That's incredible. Um, like you know, the famous line from the Joker from Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. Oh my God, Dark Knight. Or wow, the second film, Brain. If you're good at something, never do it for free. Definitely comes to mind. But the fact that you're giving people access for not all that much money, like it's $100, they're getting all of your Kickstarter stuff plus all of your knowledge and a one-on-one with you on how to make this work. That's incredible, and it's a very nice thing for you to do. So, go, Chris. That's so cool.
Well, thank you, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I this would have been impossible. And by this I mean us being on issue 2, let alone getting through issue 1, if it wasn't for this community. And, a lot of it was just me just reaching out via Instagram message or on Twitter to people who've done it before and just asking questions. And then people being nice enough to be like, well, dude, this is what I did. This is what I learned. And, oh, here's a book that you should read. And I mean, I'm looking up books, even I can't see them here, but like I got a stack also like of fantastic books that I think everyone should read when it comes to making your first comic. And like, I wouldn't have learned any of that without anyone else helping me. So the fact that I have any skills at all that I could lend to help somebody, I don't know, realize their dream, man. I mean, I've been wanting to do this literally my entire life. Felt like something cool to offer up and something helpful.
Hell yeah, I think that's absolutely like just the coolest thing. We've talked quite a bit. We've covered again who you are, your rather successful first campaign, your what appears to be extremely well on track second campaign, the amazing not only comics and other sort of collectibles you're offering for your Kickstarter. I did want to ask because it's cool that I'm getting to do a second interview with you. What's changed for Chris as a creator since issue 1 to now issue 2?
Yeah. What has changed? Well, geez, I think a lot. I think the learnings that you get from actually going through with creating a comic book. Um, it's a lot of fear in the beginning, right? It's like, I mean, you always have imposter syndrome, but it's like, do I? Like after you get an artist on board and a team in place and you're mid book one, you're like, this is happening. uh, I really hope this isn't horrible. I'm almost scared to finish it because when I do, then the reality really hits because we're gonna have to get this thing out in the world. So after doing that and after conducting a successful crowdfunding campaign and you know then just hearing people who just enjoyed it, right? You don't do these things for reviews, but when you just hear like friends who would tell you differently, the ones who are very honest with you, tell you no,
Yeah.
seriously, I would tell you if it sucked. And then strangers, who actually are reviewers say, I really enjoyed it. It's just like you can just let out just like a sigh of just relief as it washes over you. So then you can kind of take that confidence, not cockiness, never, but a little confidence into the next issue or maybe even a next project if you're just doing a one-off or whatever. And then just knowing the process, just like anything, right? You just got to keep doing it, and the more you do it, the better, quicker you get at it. And so just the learning that at least Edison and I had to, it was always kind of easy, strangely, us working together, but it just got so streamlined at the end. And then just carrying that into the second issue was awesome. And yeah, so learnings as a creative is just trust your gut and what got you through what you made the first time, right? Like
Hmm.
don't doubt yourself. And I found myself doing it as I'm writing all the time. I mean, everyone does, but you're like, I don't know, should I change? It's like, no, like again, what has what has brought you to this point? Even if you're not successful, if you're just happy with what you've made, just continue doing it. And the people who liked what you did will probably like what you're doing and what you're going to be doing. And so, yeah, I think it's a little bit more of a confidence, just in your own ability that happens, after you do it at least one time.
Nice. That's really nice. One sort of question that came to mind is obviously you speak very highly of Edison. I have no doubt well, I've seen it. He's done phenomenal work for you.
Yeah.
One sort of, I don't know if I'd call it a trope, maybe a coincidence, whatever. I do often notice that writers and artists tend to team up a lot. Um, for me being a Batman fan, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, they
Hmm.
had a tremendously long well, I don't think it's record breaking or anything, but they did a hell of a run
Yeah.
on Batman together. They then followed that up with Reborn, and if I'm not mistaken, they're doing another thing together later on. Um, will Is that sort of Edison for you? Are you like, Edison's my artist, or do you, for like a next project, maybe you're not thinking that far ahead yet, but are you like, I'd like to work with this artist, or I want to, this local person I know, I want to work with them next,
Well, I
or are you
think
like,
no, it's a great question, and I think it's going to be out of my hands, to be honest. Like, I would love to hold on to him, but there's just no effing way. He's so busy right now, and I think there are very exciting things in the near future. At least rumblings, maybe, for Edison, and I know that he's not going to be able to devote on it. To be honest, whenever I'm ready with the script for him to just jump on it. So I'm going to be
mm-hmm,
lucky if I can continue to work with him, on every single issue. And you know what? Maybe in the long run, maybe that is a good thing, right?
mm-hmm,
You know, there's so many artists that, again, that I've met in the 2 years, is it 2 years, 2 years plus maybe of doing this, that yeah, I would love to work with. And it's always cool when like you're reading your monthly and another artist does an issue, right? Like I think there's something fun in that and unexpected, and another artist always brings a different flavor. to whatever you're
Yeah.
reading. And I think that could be something really fun to do. If Edison is just super busy and he can't get to it, right? The train's got to keep rolling. So, I mean, I'd be forced into it, but also, I mean, I think it's good for him too. Like, he's a writer as well, and I know that he wants to do his own projects, and
Mhm.
and again, for me to think that he'll be able to do 8 issues himself, I think is honestly quite silly. So no, I mean, I think I'm going to have to probably work with some other artists, but I would also like to. And actually, I have maybe a couple in mind. Just when I was trying to search artists to do some of the artwork, like what Samuel did, and maybe some stretch goals. I've been just going crazy just into all social media, looking at all these different artists and just making a list of like all these people I just would love to work with, whether it's on a book or on a print or on a cover. But just having between these 2 issues worked with several artists has just been so awesome and rewarding. And it's just cool it's a little bit of a different dynamic too, but it's all been positive, right? It's not been like I've worked with one artist, like, oh, what a pain in the ass. It's just like, it's just cool to see their process. And again, it's just a completely different, style and way of going about it and working together. And that only makes you better, and it keeps you on your toes and keeps things fresh. So yeah, I think it's probably gonna happen.
That's good. I'm glad that you're so optimistic about it. Because I've definitely spoken with people and gotten the sense that they're so locked into their specific team that they're not willing to think the outside, whereas you very obviously consciously have thought, I probably can't have this forever. I will have to adapt and keep moving. And you seem to really not want it, but you're welcoming it, right? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a possible challenge to get to learn someone new, to see some new art. And I think that's fantastic. And that speaks phenomenally to your potential future success.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, you have to be. It's crazy. I mean, the only people who are complete control of the situation are the writer artists who are themselves everything. And if you're
Yeah.
not, stuff's gonna happen. People are gonna get married and have kids and move and get other projects. And so, yeah, you gotta keep your options open for sure.
Nice. So one thing that I don't believe I asked you last time, and it's become a question I really like to ask people is, um, do you yet view yourself as a writer? So are you in your mind Chris Weigand, comics art writer, or are you Chris Weigand, advertising specialist, dude who wrote a comic or comics, I should say?
That's a really good question, man. And one that I ask myself probably every time I look at a blank page. Again, imposter syndrome forever. I mean, technically, this is the thing. I've been writing my whole life for a job, but it's been write me a campaign of 30-second mini stories for commercials or minute long stories, or I've even been involved in longer form stuff, but it's never been my own. And I've always viewed the names on the comics I'm reading, the names on the books that I'm reading, those are the real writers. And like I'm a copywriter, I'm an advertising writer. And so now that I have my own thing, I think I'm close in my brain. I think for me, I'm a really tough critic of myself. I think I'm gonna have to get published. Like I think I'm gonna someone's like have to pick this up, and I'm gonna have to be able to go into like a store somewhere, in a state that I haven't been before, and be able to maybe see my name on something, whether that's a novel, which I don't even know I have the chops to do, but I think I could keep. I think I could write individual issues. I think I can keep that up in sequential art. Not saying that that's easy, but it's just a different way. It's closer to my roots of storytelling. Be concise, get to the point, right? And so I think
Hmm.
that's helped me also, write comics. But anyways, I think I don't know. Shit. So my answer to this question, maybe almost. How about almost?
I'll take it. I love ask you that question because you get some really interesting responses. Some people, they're like, no, I'm not a writer, or on a snap, like, yes, I am. Um, Again, you consistently just demonstrate how thoughtful, introspective, and thorough you are mentally.
Oh, thanks.
Um, and you know what? I hope one day you get, who knows, maybe when it's issue 5 of Tights is coming out, and yeah, you walk into a comic book somewhere, maybe you're, I don't know, at a con in Chicago or something, and there's issue 5 of Tights published by whomever, and there's your name on it.
That would
I
be
hope that
amazing.
happens for you.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that's the dream. If not tights, just something, as the more I do these projects, they're outside of my day-to-day work. Well, one, it makes me better at my job just because it makes you sharp, right? When you're always writing, it just makes you just sharper in your brain. And um, if not this, man, I'm gonna keep going. And I think what's beautiful about this whole experience is that it's proven to me that yeah, I can do this, and I got a bunch of other ideas, and I got the fire now. So whether it's comics or a screenplay or television show or whatever, that's always been my goal, and the fact that I'm making that happen now, I'm definitely going to keep pushing. So yeah, hopefully some clicks at a higher level.
Go for it. I love it. You'll be, like in the show or the book Limitless. There, something will click and you just start operating on a
Yeah.
higher level. All of a
I'll start
sudden,
seeing the Matrix for what it is.
yeah. Amazing. Chris, I wish you nothing but the best. I really do.
You too, man.
Um, you know what? Then another fun question, I think I'll ask, and I believe I asked you this one last time, but it's been a bit. Um, Often those who write comics also read comics and
Mhm.
often have collections of their own, myself included. Um, what is, would you say, your seminal piece, the thing where someone's like, what's the headpiece to your entire collection? What currently would you say is that thing?
You know what? I actually have a spinner rack, and it's like one of the best things I've ever bought in my life. I suggest anyone, if you've ever wanted one, just buy one. I know they're expensive, they're worth it. One second, let me pull a couple.
Please do. Water attacked me. This is gonna be cool. For those of you out there, spinner racks, they're about 200 Canadian, because I've looked into them myself. They obviously vary from company to company and how you're buying them. Are you getting them straight from.
All right,
Oh, here we go.
all right, here.
Welcome back.
So there are many. These are the ones that I could see and that I have in hand that I can show. Um, this I bought when it came out, and seeing it when I was younger, I just was attracted to the art. I thought I was going to be an artist. I never took it seriously enough to actually learn the craft. If I look at something I can draw, and that's what I did my whole life. I would sit. My grandma would watch me, and I had a coffee table, and I would just draw comics like all day long. And this, I mean, grabbed me. It's so crazy how even
Yeah.
like adults, little kids, when you do it right, particularly cover art, like just how it can change you. And this got me serious. Like this, I put it in a special place, and I wanted to hold on to it for my whole life. And the fact when I got to go home to it back to Detroit, and I found the box of comics, and this was in there. And in the same condition that I put it in there, it was just like, oh yes, I thought maybe it was going to be there, and it was there. So this had a really big impact on me, and it's just it's a classic freaking issue, and I'm just so glad I have it.
Absolutely. Yeah, iconic.
Another one, Image, just such a huge fan.
Nice.
MTV Oddities and the Max, and this changed me in a way where I started reading comics more as an adult and just seeing how different they can be. Other than your major superheroes from the big two, and just this, just Image in general. and Spawn, and I don't know, everything that they've done in the last 20 years. I mean, I have an entire side of my rack is just all Image, favorite issues from all sorts of different storylines, but this in particular, and the Max just being so freaking weird, and I just love the art and all of that. So it's cool also to have bought this and to still hang on to it. And then a new one, newish
Absolutely.
one. I just
Oh,
love this.
nice.
This reminded me just like I love self-contained stories, whereas you take an IP and you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And they did, this was so much fun. And this also reminded me like it could be serious and crazy, but to also like have fun with it. Like they took this world, they made it super effed up. And it's a great story, but it's just like just reading this was like a silly action movie, but done really well. And then the fact that Logan came out, and just it was just, I don't know. I really enjoyed that series for a bunch of different reasons. And again, there's a million comics back there, but those are three that I think uh, appeal to me on a couple different levels. And it's just cool to be able to glance at and open and get inspired by. Again, please get a spinner rack if you've ever wanted one, because just as a creator, just having them at your fingertips, like sometimes I'm like, geez, interior cover, what the hell does that look like? What should I send to read as inspiration? The fact that I can open it up, right, and see
Yep.
and be inspired, and like, oh, remember, I think I'm thinking of an idea, but I think it's been done before. Holy shit, I think it has been. And be able to like read, yep. Wade did this. I can't write this line or whatever. It's great. So that is a great question though, man.
Perfect. Well, you know what? It's one thing where like I love to get to see the things that people love, right? Like, there's one thing to seeing like cool old comics that are worth a lot of money, and then there's like your old man Logan, where
Yeah.
it's just like that's something cool to you that means a lot, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because I have so many comics where I'm certain they're worth pennies. But for me, because I got to meet the artist, or they're my favorite artist, and I met them at the first con I ever went to, and they signed it for me or whatever,
Yeah.
that means a lot. So that's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff
Yeah.
I enjoy. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. No, it's a great question.
Then, you know what? Truth be told, I think you're at the end of my questions. Is there anything else that you want to cover and make sure that the people out here know?
Mm, I don't think so. Just that, yeah, if you've never heard of tights, it's really easy to get into, just kind of punish. I don't think tights are easy to get into, but because the Kickstarter, yeah, we got both issues. We got the digital stuff, and if you don't want to fork over a lot of cash for something you don't even know you'll like, I don't blame you. So we got some cheap stuff there, and actually on tightscomicbook.com, you can read the first 9 pages of the first issue. So I think that's the best thing to do. It's like, don't trust me. Don't buy it because it sounds cool. Read it. Read the first, the cold open of the first comic, and if that hooks you, then yeah, I think you'll really dig where the rest of the first issue goes, and hopefully where the second issue is going. And I think the second issue kind of opens up the world a little bit, and shows you where the story is gonna go. So yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. I actually love that you have the first 9 pages out, because that cold opening is awesome. And yeah,
Thanks.
anyone who checks that out, they're going to enjoy the hell out of it.
Okay.
Then you know what? Absolutely, Chris. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show today and let us know all about Tights number two.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. It's a blast. You have honestly like one of the very best podcasts going. And what you do for this community is incredible. And the guests that you've had and the success that we see, coming, you got that magic touch, man. So you're great at what you do. You inspire all of us, and it's just awesome that I had this opportunity to talk to you again. And hopefully this won't be the last.
Yeah, hopefully not. And thank you very much. And for the folks out there in YouTube land, again, links down below. We'll have the TightsComicBook.com direct link. We'll have the Kickstarter, all that good stuff. So check them out. Obviously, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought of Chris, and we'll catch you next time.
Golden golden age to present, digest to oversize. Never miss new comic day, yeah, no surprise. So where's my no prize? Check the letter columns. Can't find issue 2? Yeah, collector problems, cliffhangers, mysteries, you need answers. When did Batman become Green Lantern? I get it, true believer, not lying, always up for an awesome summer crossover.